Right now, let's turn to your top story as a killer is on the loose in Ohio. Police in Columbus searching for whomever killed a respected dentist and his wife. Dr. Spencer Tepe and his wife Monique were shot to death in their home while their two young kids were inside.
What's the emergency there, police or medical?
Maybe both, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of doing the
wellness. We had a call out there. They knocked on the front door and back door multiple times, and there was no answer.
Yeah, no answer. I can hear kids inside, and I swear I think I heard one yell, but we can't get in. At this point, I don't know if I need to break the door in or just get in the house or what. So.
Okay, were you out there when the police was out there?
I wasn't. I just got here about 5 minutes ago.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll send them back out to you.
Officers discovering the couple's bodies Tuesday after a welfare check was requested by colleagues of Dr. Tepe's. Now, the children were found in the house unharmed. Thank goodness for that. Investigators say there were no signs of forced entry at the house, and there was no weapon at the scene, no firearms. So investigators have ruled out the possibility that this was a murder-suicide. The concern began when Dr. Spencer Tepe missed work. For the first time that morning, apparently, his colleagues becoming concerned, calling 911. Moments later, a friend arrives at the house and discovered the gruesome scene.
The body, our friend wasn't answering his phone. We just did a wellness check. We just came here, and he appears dead.
Okay.
There's blood. He's laying next to his bed, off of his bed, and there's blood. I can't get closer to see more than that.
Okay, so you can tell he's obviously not breathing or anything?
Yeah.
Is it like kind of like, you know, does he look like...
It doesn't look puddled. I can't look.
Okay, all right, I understand. Okay.
So what happened here? No items taken from the home, no signs of forced entry, no firearm in the house. Let's dig into this. Who might have done these murders? Let's bring in former FBI special agent. She's retired after many years of service, Jennifer Coffindaffer. She's also a firearms expert and has expertise in the area of gangs as well. Also want to welcome in private investigator with Black Ops, Private Investigators. He's formerly served with the NYPD and our military, Manuel Gomez. Good morning and Happy New Year to you both. I'm so thrilled that we have you both here to dig into this one. Jen, I'll begin with you. Your thoughts when we think about where this investigation should go and who you would want to be interviewing, how you would work this case. Talk to us about that, if you would, please.
Right, Julie. Well, when you look at this case, there are some things that really stand out. First of all, the fact there was no forced entry, no items stolen. There was no indication that anything was toppled or there were any issues. So that tells me that likely this is somebody that this couple would have known. Also, if you look at the preciseness and accuracy of the shots, you have 2 shots to him, 1 shot to her. Also, there was a combination lock on that door. This would lead me to wonder who had access to that combination lock. I found it very interesting that the wedding that they had was at this home. That would mean possibly many people had access to that combination lock. In addition, that 911 call, Julie, that originated sort of strangely in my view. Who calls 911 when your employee just doesn't show up for work for a few hours? I found that a little bit odd as well. So I would start with all of those witnesses and individuals that knew this couple.
Jen, all excellent points. I want to dovetail from your last point. We have that 911 call. So the owner of the dental practice, what Jen was just referencing, he's based in Florida, and he's placing this 911 call at 9 a.m. Tuesday morning. Let's listen.
Did you receive information they may have been involved in an accident, or?
No, ma'am. I just know that he is he is always on time, and he would contact us if there was any issues whatsoever. And I just don't know how else to say this. We're very, very concerned because this is very out of character. And we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
Okay, again, 9 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. I looked up that dentist's website for the practice hours, and it says on Tuesdays they begin at 8 a.m. There are other dentists in the practice as well. Manuel, what do you say about this? Is that suspicious to you that there were calls of such grave concern at 9 a.m. requesting the welfare check so early?
Well, first of all, I want to say my condolences to the Tepe family and to all the families that have lost their loved ones here. Second of all, I do agree with Jennifer, and that is that the boss, to me, is a possible suspect. But what's even more of a possible suspect is the second caller who goes there and describes the puddling of the blood, the body on the floor, and so forth. Clearly, this was a targeted murder. Clearly, the aggression was mostly spent at the husband. This is why he has numerous shots in his body. But the reason why the wife was killed is most likely they didn't mean to kill her, but they came downstairs, saw her, and says, all right, shoot her in the chest, and that's it. The children are alive because of the innocence and because they're really not witnesses. But do I believe that the possible suspects are possible that boss or possible that person that was describing the bodies on the floor after the cops already been there? Highly suspicious. But this case is going to go on the digital footprint, and that's what's going to take to bust open this case and who it was.
Definitely. Great points, Manuel. So, to your point, the digital footprint. So let's just say, as an investigator, and it sounds like you both would like to interview these people who were very active that morning, calling concerned, going to the house. Jen, talk to us, please, about how you go about that. Do you ask these people if they'll willingly turn over their devices and their communications?
Well, I would first start, of course, with the deceased devices and communications. Also, I want to see all this video. There's a Ring camera. We know there's a public camera across the street. I would believe that there are multiple Ring cameras in this neighborhood. This neighborhood, by the way, is very interesting because it's in really a bad part of town that they're trying to revive. So this house was a $700,000 townhome, but essentially it's surrounded by a really bad neighborhood. So a lot of cameras and so on are going to be there. As far as interviewing these possible witnesses, possible suspects, that is really ground one for me. I'm going to go there and in person interview them and ask if they'll take polygraphs and ask if they'll give up their devices. You can tell a lot by what people will and will not do.
Yes, Jen. So let's explore another possibility that this might have been someone looking to do a crime there, whether it's they intend to go in and burglarize the home, they intend to just do a killing, maybe per gang initiation, something like that. Manuel, what do you say about that? Do you think it's possible this could have been more random than personal?
I think it's possible, but highly unlikely. And the fact that you said before, they didn't steal anything. They didn't take nothing from the house, okay? This was a targeted murder. This was targeted to that husband. And I have to say to you, this is a very good-looking couple. She's a beautiful woman. He's a handsome guy, okay? Either one of them might have had some type of affair or somebody who liked them. Like Jennifer said, this house has digital locks on the door, which you don't need a key. All you just need is the digital combination. And the fact is, not only did it have Ring camera in front of the house, which covers about a 70-degree angle, but it also has cameras in back. When I saw the backyard, I saw 2 Ring cameras in the back. This house is fairly new, so the modernization of the equipment with it is going to be key in this investigation. But I do believe that there is someone that they know that was possibly in a relationship and so forth. And like Jennifer said, I would start with those 2 key individuals. Why do you call? Because somebody misses one day of work? I have a problem with that.
Yeah, I hear you, my friend. Jen, last point from you, please. You have done service work with the FBI, infiltrating gangs. You've studied them. Does this look at all like gang activity to you?
Capital, no. No, not in the least. Typically, when you see some sort of gang activity like this that would either be for the purpose of robbing or for the purpose of a gang initiation, you see a spray and pray tactic. You would see so much damage. You would see items stolen and taken from that residence. They just don't have the understanding to be low profile in what they do. This is a low profile murder, meaning the person who went in there has minimally some expertise with their weapon to hit kill shots right away. And they were able to get in and get out without being identifiable. I would guess that they're going to be totally covered up. And that's why police are asking for more camera footage.
Excellent insight from you both. Jennifer Coffindaffer, Manuel Gomez, thank you both tremendously. And for anybody who's watching this program, if you live in Central Ohio, please call Crime Stoppers. We're putting the number on your screen. They're looking for any information they can get to try to solve this heinous crime. Those children, the 1-year-old and the 4-year-old, are in the hands of the couple's brother-in-law this morning. So they are with family, and we certainly wish them all the best.